So you want to hang out with the autistic kids, huh? Let's see if we can teach you our language first. You want to hang with us? You got a lot to learn. The first term coming at you is everyone's favorite, the faggy D. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, because neither do the people that trade them. The name comes from the idea that these types of trades will always bend you over. Briandarwell gave us a great example of an FD back in the middle of March 2019. He bet over $4,000 that the S&P would rise by about 1% in 3 hours. And then he got on an airplane. By the time he landed, his money was gone. That is an FD. Next up is a term that should have died in 2011, YOLO. YOLO is an acronym that stands for You Only Live Once. So take some stupid risks that can change your life for the better if it works out, or the worse if it fails. The idea here is that you could make enough money to party on a rooftop or buy yourself a yacht and host a party with a bunch of babes, as if money were the reason that you weren't doing that right now. Our boy madrigalisrael showed us how to YOLO correctly when he made $8 million in one day. All he had to do was place a $9 million bet. That was it. But before you get all jealous and try to follow his lead, just keep in mind that this rarely works out. As you can see here, you can easily lose 50 grand in a day by trying to YOLO as well. Next up is the one and only Becky. But don't worry, this isn't the Becky that friendzoned you. On WallStreetBets, Becky is just a portfolio with holdings in companies that white girls just can't live without. Things like Starbucks, Ulta Beauty, Lululemon, and Etsy. You might think that only a fool would invest specifically in Becky, but you'd be wrong. In fact, a Becky portfolio almost always outperforms the S&P 500. If you think you can beat Becky, go ahead and try. Many have failed. I'm pretty sure our next term isn't actually a real word, but it's autist. The idea of an autist is very simple. It's just someone who's garbage at trading, so about 90% of the people on WallStreetBets, and in fact about 75% of people everywhere around the United States. An autist is very likely to trade with no style, no grace, do very little research, and just YOLO based on the comments on social media. Even if they are successful once in a while, they're likely to take all of their earnings, turn around and lose it all on another trade. They almost exclusively trade on Robinhood because it's free and it's very easy to get started. You even get a free stock worth about $3 to $5, provided you sign up using a friend's referral link. They typically dress like they mean business, but don't be fooled. Autists have no idea what they're doing. Our next essential term is technical analysis. Now this term can be a little tricky because it means different things to different people. To actual traders, it means assessing future prices based on the trends in a stock's previous movement. To the degenerates on WallStreetBets, technical analysis is a meme-worthy method of trading stocks that involves drawing lots of fancy lines. Here's an example of good technical analysis from MarketWatch. Notice how the lines actually mean something, and it identifies a trend. In contrast, here's an example of technical analysis from WallStreetBets. Note the obvious abundance of useless lines. In this example of bad technical analysis, notice the very large arrows that go loopy-swoopy pointed down. And don't forget the very, very serious Batman pattern. Or the even more obvious Big D pattern. Folks, if you can't tell, we at WallStreetBets think technical analysis is a big joke, and you should feel the same way. There's no reason to be looking at charts all day when you have money to make. Speaking of which, let's talk about Tendies. This is really what it's all about. Earning Tendies is every trader's goal. These are big wins from the stock market, large profits that you make on your solid, good trades. But this type of Tendies has nothing to do with hot chicken fingers. In this picture here, you see a stack of $100 bills, called Benjamins, or in other words, Benjis. And here you see a $10 bill, or Tendies. Tendies is more likely the amount of money that people are making when they're trading on Robinhood. Other autists say that Tendies actually does come from the word chicken tenders, and it has to do with something about buying chicken tenders with good boy points, and you get those when you make a good trade. It's really, really weird. We'll probably never know the truth, but either way, you still want Tendies. Next up is what you get to be, a bag holder. A bag holder is someone who buys a stock and then has it go down on them right after. Essentially, they're stuck holding the bag of poop. Here's star 800 on StockTwits. He's been holding a stock since January, and he's down $20,000. But look at him, he's still bullish, and he's still holding the bag. If you prefer graphical representations, here's somebody who found WallStreetBets, bought a bunch of stocks based off of what he found there, and then got stuck holding the bag as he wrote it down over $900. Stock Dude 50 was doing great until he got stuck holding the bag, and now he's down $1,300 with nowhere to go. The next term is really important. It's DD, or due diligence. Due diligence means putting in some work before you do something to make sure that it's a good choice for you and your family. You might expect that the WallStreetBets degenerates and autists would be pretty terrible at DD, but honestly, you'd be surprised. The terminology used on WallStreetBets DD posts might be a little bit crude, but here's a great example of proper due diligence by wait, what am I doing? A lot of the WallStreetBets due diligence is probably getting ripped off of actual investing forums, like Investing, but there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Good DD is good DD no matter where it's coming from or who's giving it to you. Finally, we come to the thing that makes WallStreetBets a really special place, the shitpost. Shitposts are nothing more than memes, jokes, other sort tomfoolery, anything that can distract you from your losses. Stock trading is not a comfortable experience. It's really stressful, and sometimes you just need to unwind with a good shitpost. And shitposters on WallStreetBets are actually pretty darn good at it. A real good shitpost will actually have hints of truth in it, as you can see here as this Reddit user posed as SpongeBob absolutely rips apart Uber and their pitiful business model. Lots of bag holders were created after Uber's IPO, and WallStreetBets got hit hard. Here's another SpongeBob shitpost. This time, we're all feeling like Squidward. You might find that other subreddits will ban you if you insult the mods, but on WallStreetBets, there's a lot of guys there who are great sports about being on the brunt end of shitposts. Well, boys and girls, that's our dialect in a nutshell. If you think you might be autistic enough to hang out with us, head on over to WallStreetBets on Reddit. Or feel free to check out some of our other videos, including the dankest trades on WallStreetBets. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more autism where this came from.